Welcome back to our project of carving a vintage style decoy, a golden winged warbler. At the end of our first video, we were just starting to work on undercutting the wing and round over the tail to start giving some good shape and getting our decoy looking more like a bird. So let's carry on. So on the left photo there, that's same bird. The gouge I've now made it kind of disappear by carving away below it, carving away a lot of that wood underneath this, where is the belly and the bottom of the bird there. So now as the wing really is starting to stand out. You have to be careful. You don't want to chop a big chunk out of this edge of his tail. We want a nice straight edge of his tail there. On the right hand side, you see I've gone around underneath a little bit. I'm pinching in this area a bit. That's where the dowel is going to go for the to support the bird on his little perch. Most songbirds, when you look at the end of their tail it has a bit of a curvature to it. It's hollow on the underneath side, so you can work on that with various tools and machinery if you wish. On the right hand side, I'm taking a moment to work on the head a little bit. So I've got my mylar pattern out again in my probe, and I'm holding the pattern up against the bird and poking through where the center of his eye is to establish the location. And I'll do that on both sides. And then you want to use your two pencils or your two probes or two pins and see where you put those eyes. So when you're looking straight on at the bird, are those eyes level with the world? If not, you want to adjust them. Again, from above, make sure that those eyes are equidistant from the tip of the bill. Otherwise, the bird is going to look real wonky. So those little pinpricks I made for the eyes, I've drilled them out a little bit so that I was happy with them, so I drilled them out so I don't lose their location. It's not the size of the eye hole that's needed yet, but that will come. On the right hand photo there, you'll see that I've started to work on what we call an eye channel, and it's basically a deep groove that you put right through the location of the eye, and it starts pretty much smoothly flush with the end of the bill there, the base of the bill, I should say, and then it runs through the eye and goes off out the towards the back of his head there. So there's a front view of what you're after, and another side view. I've also done some taken a little bit of this area out in front of the wing and up to that flat surface that has the green on it, and when you take that out, all of a sudden, and now the bird's head is there, and it's starting to look delicate the way a warbler should. In the left photo there, you see there's evidence that I've gotten my micro grinder out, and I've been doing some smoothing over edges and whatnot with that with the machine, getting things nice and rounded, and continually shaping them and looking at my reference, comparing it to my pattern. On the right hand side, I've got a big bit there doing some scooping out on the underneath side of the tail. You want to leave a triangle of feathers here. Those are undertail coverts, and they're almost like a group of feathers that supports the tail, but you want to have those in there. Just another look at different areas. You want to maintain this edge of his tail so that it kind of goes down there as a flat straight edge until it disappears into the feathers along his rump there. Don't lose that straight edge. A little more grooving and working on underneath the tail and all sorts of places. You see on the right hand photo here, I've taken my grinder and I've gone over the whole bird. It's still rough, but in a way it's smooth too, because I've gotten rid of knife marks, and I've done a lot more shaping. The tail is getting thin. You don't need to make a wafer thin tail because it is a decoy, and you don't want a decoy tail to snap off. The bill is probably still a little thick. I'll be thinning that out a little bit yet, just sneaking up on the shape that I'm looking for. The eyes are going to be 5mm black glass eyes, so I will be drilling out that location that you see there, a little bit at a time, to make it large enough for the glass eyes to slip in. So on the left hand side, you see that I have dropped my glass eyes in. So you want to drill a hole for the eye in the correct place that you established earlier, and then into that hole you put a little putty or wood filler, something that you can sink the glass eye into. So set your eye in there, push them in to a depth so that when you look from above, you just can see a little bit of the glass, and try to have them both tipped so that they look the same on both sides of the head. Look at it from all sorts of different angles. Checking, checking, checking. So these eyes are still kind of covered with the putty. So I haven't taken a knife or anything to clean them up yet. I usually use a round toothpick and just kind of rub around and round and round and widen out the eye. And take a bit of time to work on your dowel that you're going to use for a stand for to hold your bird up. I usually end up using a little bit of wood, quick wood or some kind of wood filler to smooth out that joint a little bit. And there you go, on the right hand side, that little guy is pretty much ready for painting. You'll the eye is looking good. The beak is narrow and delicate, like a warbler's should be. And the next thing I'll be doing is I like to spray a lacquer onto a clear lacquer or some kind of a sanding sealer. You can use a brush-on sanding sealer, something to seal up that wood a little bit so that the paint doesn't soak in. You want your sealer to soak in, and then you can sand it nice and smooth to get ready for the paint. So this is just about at the end of this video. So in the next painting video, yeah, you're going to need to be ready with your bird sealed and sanded, ready to paint. And here are a few things that you're going to need besides your brushes and your paint tray and so on. We're going to put first a coating of white gesso. Gesso is a material that bonds well with your sealed wood and makes a good base for your other paints. You're going to need 4 colors. You're going to need cadmium yellow medium or some kind of a medium yellow, nimbus gray or some kind of a medium sort of gray color. Black umber is a color, but you can make that with raw umber and black together, and titanium white. So how easy is that? So see you next time, and have fun carving.